What's good, people? Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'd love you to subscribe and kindly smash the like button to help grow this channel. Alright, today I am reacting to Buhari's interviews on Arise News and NTA. Of course, these interviews happen to be his first round of media chats since his second term re-election. Possibly, they may as well be his last round of media chats because we know that Buhari has a penchant for addressing Nigerians really. He rarely grants interviews, and whenever he does, people are curious to know what he wants to say. However, like I said in one of my past videos, whenever Buhari talks, we almost always wish he never talked in the first place. With his Thursday and Friday interviews, most Nigerians felt exactly the same way. Now, before I begin, I have to say that I wasn't exactly impressed by the performance of the Arise News crew. In my opinion, they did not question him as hard as one would have wanted. He got away with a lot of questions they should have doubled down on. For the NTA interview, I did not expect much. I mean, it is NTA anyways. Having said that, let's get into it. Now, for the most part, the responses he gave during the two interviews are very similar. So in this reaction, I will only comment on certain things that stood out. When he was asked about corruption, his answer was neither here nor there. But he did blame the system. Isn't this the same old tune we've heard time and time again from Buhari and his handlers? It has never been about accountability for him. Never. A huge part of why he got elected in 2015 was based on his promise to fight corruption. Now, 6 years going, he has blamed just about everybody, from the system to PDP to protesters to the Nigerian youth. The truth is that he has failed to deliver on his promise to fight corruption, and so the only thing he can do is to blame others. He also complained about his inability to fight corruption in the present democratic dispensation, as he did when he was a military head of state. Here is my problem. Buhari was branded as a reformed Democrat when he campaigned in 2015. However, in the past 6 years, we have seen him constantly disobey the Constitution at will. It is rather ironic that this reformed Democrat who disobeys the Constitution is complaining about how hard it is for him to fight corruption under democracy, when in reality he does not even respect the said democracy. But he did say something that I actually agree with. In the NTA interview, he was asked if he still believed in the establishment of special courts to try corruption-related cases, and he maintained his position. I agree with him because our legal system is such that cases tend to drag on for years. Having special courts to try corruption cases would definitely help fast-track the prosecution of corrupt officials. When asked about what he is doing on the issue of banditry, he talked about how he has changed the service chiefs and ordered them to go around to see things for themselves. I couldn't believe my ears. According to him, that counts for something. The way he said it, it was as if he wanted Nigerians to applaud him for that. Changing service chiefs and telling them to visit trouble spots across the country is the least he could have done. one would have expected that he would give us data on the number of bandits who have been arrested, or the number of arms and ammunitions that have been recovered from these bandits, or something like that. But we are supposed to celebrate the fact that service chiefs have been ordered to go see things for themselves. When he was asked on his thoughts on regional security outfits like Amotekun, I feel Buhari contradicted himself. On the one hand, he insinuated that governors should do their job as the chief security officers of their states, while on the other hand, we know that he has opposed the idea of restructuring over and over. This is what I mean. As Nigeria is presently structured, governors do not have control over the police. However, if Nigeria were restructured in such a way that each region or state had control over resources and security, then of course the buck would stop at their table. But it is very unfair that Buhari is telling these governors to be on top of the security in their state when they do not have any real powers when it comes to security. Also on restructuring, Buhari was asked on his thoughts on the devolution of powers, but he was disingenuous in his response. Instead of giving a straight answer, he said, and I quote, "It would depend on what devolution of power means." End of quote. When I heard that, I said to myself, this man can't be serious. This is the same guy who promised us restructuring in 2015, but now he's trying to play smart. Many people have criticized him on how he threatened IPOB and how he compared them with a tiny dot in a circle or something like that. While I wouldn't want to repeat many of these criticisms, I'll say that Buhari still does not get it. I am beginning to think that he is choosing not to get it. IPOB is a symptom of a larger problem. When an entire race feels marginalized, naturally you have militants and guerrilla warriors. What Buhari has failed to do is to engage with the Southeast and work with them to resolve this issue. He has not so much as invited them to the table. In a heterogeneous society like ours, you cannot do without dialogue. But then again, he does not get it. His response was rather unfortunate. Lastly, I want to respond to his comments on NSAS protesters. How disingenuous of him to blame the lack of foreign direct investment in Nigeria on NSAS protesters. It's sad that he interpreted the NSAS protest to mean calls for his removal. NSAS was about putting an end to police brutality. It was about putting an end to bad governance. But he chose to conflate the thugs who hijacked the protest with well-meaning Nigerian youth who wanted a better country. These are the same youth who even protested for better salaries for the police. But our president felt by demanding all of this, they wanted to remove him from power. It's rather ironic that this is coming from the same man who protested under the Jonathan administration. How would he blame the youth for lack of foreign direct investment? How are the youth who protested against police brutality to blame for insecurity? If no one wants to invest in an insecure environment like Nigeria, did it occur to Buhari that it is his fault? It is his fault because he hasn't defeated Boko Haram like he promised. His comment on NSAS shows how he is full of excuses. He is never accountable for anything. This is the same man who said Nigerians are forgetful, the same man who said the youth are lazy. These two interviews did not do much to show that Buhari is really on top of the situation. It did not inspire hope. If anything, it shattered it. While I hope that he would do more of these interviews before the expiration of his tenure, he needs to know that as a leader, his words matter. His words should be graceful. You don't demean people by calling them dots in a circle, especially when these people have legitimate grievances. He needs to stop absolving himself from his constitutional responsibilities by blaming everyone but himself. Those are my final thoughts. Give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel. My immediate goal is to reach 100 subscribers before the end of next week. Remember to also drop a comment or two. Let me know what your thoughts are on the two interviews. Till next time, stay safe.